Hello and welcome to some Everquest news. So the test server was updated, looks like on a Monday. So that means next week there's probably going to be a patch, and these are the patch notes that are most likely going to go live. So January 7th, 2025. See highlights during a release day. This is the Valentine's Day event. Head to the over there and check with Darne Karel about her new treats to help celebrate. So get some Valentine's Day stuff there. Items. The duration bonus provided by the Roar Duration Focus on the Shaman BPs from the Outer Brood will now apply to Reciprocal Roar, which is the current level Roar. Paper Bag Ornament now shares a lore group with the Paper Bag hat instead of the Fippy hat. Dark Elf Rangers can now use the Cultural Chain for Dark Elves. Can get access to Dark Elf Rangers when consuming the tradable Outer Brood expansion ticket. Previously, I guess you had to go talk to a NPC. There, it talks about that later on. Increase the damage values on longbows found in the Outer Brood, and decrease the damage values on short bows found in the Outer Brood. I believe longbows are the ranger ones, and short bows are the everybody else bows. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I'm not going to look it up, but just changed some damage values there. It's not really a big deal unless you're a ranger, because bow damage is not something you're going to be using unless you're a ranger. There are now vanity achievements for the Time-Wise armor sets available in the Tides of Time. That's the anniversary thing. Starborn, Milo Mel, Astral Starfruit Wine, Starfire Mint Berry Breeze can now be placed in the Trade Skill Depot. I believe those sound like craftable food from the Outer Broods. A typo was fixed in the Argent Clockwork Orlon Saddle's name when placed in the housing plot. Lustrous Flying Carpet now has levitation. Fixed an issue preventing the echo-honed reflective Embercord scrolls from being scribed by the intended levels. History will tell us that this spell here, this is the Lorien Song tier enchantment for metal. This was I think 121 required level. They lowered it down to 110. It's still a little weird. I leveled my enchanter all the way to 125 just to get rid of the issue. But that was some weird stuff going on there. Hot button that links to an item in your bags will now work without needing to open the hot bar. Rallo's Zek, Legacy of the Lost, Sinlayan, Harbinger Augments will now no longer have an ammo flag. Now these are the progressive items from the last few expansions. The earring, that's the cloak. I think that's the neck, and that is the ring from the Outer Brood. So they no longer have ammo flags on them, so that's interesting. Trade skills. Fix several recipes names that contained a typo with the word fillet. Quests and events. The Leviathan's Heart mission achievement, No Remains, can now be completed as described. Removed the errant servitor from the Inner Turmoil event in Paniel. Mercenaries will no longer be targets of the penance of purification curses in the High Priest of Yaren missions. In the Leviathan's Heart mission, the Heart Scudder will now coincide with the warning and decal locations. Remove the no zone flag from several items used in the quest. We have to go back. Postmaster challenges can be completed by folks who have completed the quest before they take the challenge, right? So that's, I think, a persona change, so you can redo those and get more bags, I guess, unless they're lore. Shared task designed for 6-player groups will now be assigned to the group making the request while in a raid, which is interesting. I'm not 100% what this actually will entail, but if you're in a raid and you request a 6-man mission, that raid group should be able to go into the mission and do the mission. That's what it sounds like to me. So if you're in a hunter raid or something like that, and you want to go do a mission while you're in the hunter raid, you might be able to do that. I'm not 100% sure. I've not tested this. I'm not on test. So it looks interesting if so. Master Alchemist Pennigan's dialogue will now properly offer the Leviathan's Heart mission. Fixed an issue where the cooling chamber task, it's getting hot in here, would get stuck if more than one person was working on the task at the same time. All right. Spells. Fixed a typo in the spell description for Oculus Blind. Fixed the spell descriptions for the following spells in the TBO group missions: Body Binding Aspect, Oculus Blind, Biozap, and Fire Lord's Incinerator. Shaman corrected the spelling of the Hortartian Pandemic. I don't even know how to say that. Hartartian, Hutartian, I don't know. Bard reduced the recast time of reflexive reboot by 30 seconds and will no longer receive a Type 3 augment. Beast Lord reduced the cast time on reflexive slashing, Paladin reflexive resolution, and Ranger reflexive needle spike by 30 seconds on all of those, and Shadow Knight reflexive retribution by 30 seconds also. Now, none of these spells will get Type 3s in the future, and I think this is something that they should do for all Type 3s. Put whatever the Type 3 is into the let's say rank 2, rank 3 of the spell, or just in the baseline, and call it a day. Type 3s are detrimental to the progression of a persona, and they're just all around just a nuisance. They're a platinum sync that is just not really that impressive. I mean, it's just like, you know, like people just buy them again. It's just so much easier to do that. But removing them takes a perfected augment, which is annoying. And I have a whole nother video talking about this, but this is something very dear to my heart. I'm removing these Type 3 augments. I feel like they should just remove them all from the game. But talk about that later. All right, AA, remove the Outer Brood expansion requirement from the special AA Ariad's Bane. That AA can still only be used in the Outer Brood zones, but no longer blocks achievements and rewards from being accepted. So if you were in a hunter, a hunter raid, right, where, you know, the whole server bounds together, builds a raid, and goes and kills all the names, you would be able to get Ariad's Bane, and you would be able to get it without having to do anything. Ariad's Bane is what removes the curse. There's 6 ranks of it in the Outer Brood, and it would prevent you from accepting the actual bags and stuff from the Slayers if you did not own the expansion. Something interesting there. Added a new zero-cost mercenary AA, Defy the Ariat, that makes mercenaries immune to all ranks of the Curse of Subjugation debuff. New ranks of the special AAs, Heroes Vitality, Fortitude, and Resolution have been added for the Outer Brood and are persona shared. Ranks 51 and 52 of the special AA Heroes Resolution now correctly increases health, mana, endurance regeneration by 102 and 104. Enchanter updated the Focus AA Hastened in Knights of Endless Terror to provide up to 120 seconds of reuse reduction at max rank. All ranks of the Knights Endless Terror and Knights Perpetual Terror spells additionally added a new zero-cost Outer Brood rank that added the focus of all ranks on the Knights Eternal Terror. So a little buff there to Enchanters. I think they should still turn that spell into an AA. But I'm not the game designer. All right, Berserker updated the Class AA Baraxi Howl ranks 9 through 11 to provide 18% melee damage bonus, down from 20%. on up to 95, 110, and 125 hits, up from 90, 100, and 110. Additionally, ranks 2 to 11 can now trigger Fear Stun on targets 1 level lower than your current level. All right, let's look at this one a little closer, because now this is interesting. So this changes the Berserker ability so that they do, what, 2% less damage. But it looks like it adds a Fear Stun. It feels like a nerf to me, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a Berserker at current level to really be able to go down to this. So if you play a Berserker at current level, let's talk a little insight on that, please. Progression servers, the Shadow of Lucklin era Shea Ventaris is back in the randomized loot tables. All right, miscellaneous added the planned scheduled updates for the 2025 calendar. The activated item keyring's maximum number of slots has been increased to 500. Added ranger spell vendors to area commons and the over there with some additional spells. Made further reductions to pet combat lag due to spell casting and weapon procs. Fixed game crashes that can happen when loading animation or texture resources. Hide skill no longer fails randomly and consistently, and consequently a rogue's evadability is now more reliable. A little buff to rogues after 20 years. Added a proc hold pet command, which can now be toggled to prevent your primary pet from triggering procs from their weapons, armors, or buffs. So this is a pretty interesting thing, right? So if you give a pet a weapon that procs, he's going to do less damage. That's the general consensus I've gotten from talking to lots of different people. Now, being able to turn that off, that's pretty nice. You will get a little bit more melee DPS out of them, possibly prevent them from casting spells. So that might be a beneficial thing. The fact that you can turn it on and off with a proc hold command is pretty nice. Fix the crash while loading animation skeletons. The alternate advancement command now supports AA names in addition to the existing ability activation IDs with a couple of caveats. The AAs that toggle cannot be specified where you want to enable or disable. For example, alternate advancement bold attacks will still disable the AA if it's currently enabled. Being cautious when using partial name matching, as you may not want to activate the AA you intended. So make sure you type the right name, or you're not going to get what you want. Added a new slash command, Q Melody. This command is similar to the Melody, except it plays songs in a priority order depending on the song's recast time, your current buffs, and your target's current debuffs. The earlier the song is in the list, the higher priority it is. Holy crap, they're adding some almost automation. So now, this is pretty cool. So, let me see. I got a bard loaded here, right? So here's my bard. Let's grab a few songs. I have, just random stuff. This is a level 100 bard on a different server than I normally play on. But let's zoom in. So laggy right here. You see how this has a 24-second duration, 24-second duration, 18-second duration. Now, if I did a Q Melody, like say 1, this is 2, and then what was 6? So it would do aria, war march, chant, and then it would do the chant again before refreshing these, which would come after that. That is fantastic. That is if that is in fact how it works. This makes boxing a bard even easier. This is truly a step forward in the way the game works. I applaud the dev team for adding this command. We'll see in practice how this works. I will be doing 115 for my Hobbs and Friends bard. That character will get a video, most likely with this already enabled. So we'll talk about it then. in excruciating detail. Evolving item experience can now be earned in raids. Raids with more than 7 players in the same zone will earn the total experience a group of 6 would have earned, divided equally amongst the raid. The amount earned for the full raid is intentionally very small. Raids with 6 or fewer people in the same zone earning the same evolving experience they would have earned not in a raid. So that is fantastic. If you were in a raid, you still get a little experience for evolving, ring, neck, cloak, earring, boots in some cases. So those are pretty nice. Real estate access now is promptly updated when a player's name is changed. Guild real estate neighborhoods will now auto evict non-guild plots that are owned by a player who's not in the guild after 30 days. Fixed an issue that caused the superior standard to not spawn in certain old zones. UI fixed a crash caused by the trade window. When removing an augment that will consume a perfect augment distiller, the pop-up window will now highlight the augment distiller's name. How about, I'm going to go out on a wild limb here. Let's remove perfect augment distillers from the game. And everything that used it uses whatever the highest tier is. I'm just going to go out on a limb there and say, let's do that. The login and service select windows are no longer offset when launching the win in maximized mode without launching Launchpad. Updated the cursor item links from the keyrings to be able to auto inventory or drop directly into an augment slot. What? Updated the cursor item links from keyrings to be able to be inventoried or dropped directly into the augment slot if actionable. All right, I have no idea what that even means. Hot buttons will now work as expected for items that are moved to or from a keyring. Converted the find location window to the new UI window, or new UI engine. Made a fix for game client crashes related to font memory corruption. Fixed an incorrect zone connection on the Atlas for the new expansion. Corrected an issue with text overlapping in the purchase window. Added find location window and the stuff for that. Changed the find location window, the purchase window, the real estate manage window, the real estate purchase window, and all the other stuff related to that. And previously updated hotfix notes that I don't believe I did videos on. The Zoran Tavaxia in the tunnels in the Commonwealth will now grant the Dark Elf Ranger feature if you receive the Outer Brood as a gift, and that gift did not grant you the Dark Elf Ranger option. Leviathan's Heart mission changes. Energists will now only summon when damaged. They also have names to indicate which type of energy they use. Added a decal for the Heart Stutter mechanic. The Custodian will now start with only one I-beam and will increase the number as the event progresses. Improperly formed lenses will no longer stack. There will be few energists and remnants. The hit points of the remnants have also been lowered. Everybody in the pool achievement in the Brood Architect of Hazuri mission can now be completed. Added messaging for successfully standing in the pool for the Brood Architect Hazuri mission and failing that achievement. All right. Yeah, and then here's just people saying, remove all the type 3s, big applause. Let's see here. Gotta be careful on some of these things. Some of these people are salty. Let's see here. Let's see, Q Melody, right. All right, here's some dev clarification. Escrow will be reimbursed if you get evicted. Houses are not plots, so that permission is not relevant. There are 2 ways to avoid auto evict. Invite the plot owner to the guild, neighborhood guild. Auto eviction does not apply to guild neighbor whose guild has fewer than 10 members. This is the same requirement threshold as buying a guild plot. In other words, it's a dead guild, abandoned guild. Upkeep is allowed. All right, more stuff. Auto eviction applies to plot ownership, not to houses. As long as the plot owner is in the neighborhood's guild, then it does not matter. It's just a matter of normal escrow. All right, and it just goes into more and more housing stuff. I guess people were having houses in other guilds thing, and that's causing issues. All right, so there's that. Now, this is another thing that was posted. The Everquest roadmap for 2025. It goes through, you know, just talking about the things they've done this year, the different events, all the different stuff, along with launching the new expansion, then Extra Life, you know, numbers. They did had a total $139,000 earned for this Extra Life charity. And then they also launched a swag store, which I still have yet to buy anything from. Well, that looks so cool. That's a cool looking mouse. Oh, that's a poster. That's the mouse pad. That's pretty cool. You know, hats, Everquest hat, and some stuff there. Definitely, ooh. Cloth map. Ooh. Year of the Dark Paw edition. That's something I might pick up. But very nice swag store stuff. Apparently it's gonna be updated if you go through here. So January they released the tier 1 raids for the Outer Broods, which is covered here in this one. We'll go over that here in a minute. Looks like new content for Valentine's Day coming up soon, and just a lot of TLP unlocks here. Doesn't look like much there. In February, tier 2 raids will be unlocked. In March, tier 3 raids will be unlocked. The 26th anniversary, Brew Day. March is a busy month, and I gotta say, March is a really busy month. There's so many things to do, so many quests to do. You just, you know, you gotta start earlier. You won't do them all. New content for Bristlebane's Day, Stomple's Day, Swag Store. New content for Tempest Festival, Wrath Day, some TLP unlocks. No, don't really need to cover those. Those still happen no matter what. In May, there'll be a new progression server. I highly recommend that to new players when that comes out in May. Otherwise, maybe Teak. Maybe Teak. June, Pride Month, Hardcore Heritage. Sports guy, I hate Hardcore Heritage, but, you know, it's June. Potential server merge. What are we gonna get merged? What is hit live? Let's see if we can speculate on this real quick. And is anybody hitting Lorian's Song? There's a few servers that have hit Lorian's Song, I believe, and they're gonna hit the Outer Brood soon. So there'll be some server merges. I think they should merge most of the live servers that have like a population less than 500. Teak has shown that they can run a server with, you know, 10,000 plus players. I think they can definitely take some of these old servers and combine them together to make a larger community. But there we are. Let's see here. More unlocks. New content for Stone Cold Summer. Let's see here. More TLP unlocks. Fall Fun 1 and 2. I believe those are experience bonus events. Let's see here. 30. All right, the 32nd expansion will come up for beta in October. Knights of the Dead, Champions Festival, new content. Interesting. I would like to see what's new there. I know this year it was the 2 swords. So that'll be interesting to see what they got going on next year. And then November will be Extra Life again, which is the craziest time of year when it comes to getting experience. Let's see here. Feast of Giving, everything else pretty much the same there. December, the new expansion will launch. And now the new expansion should be a 130, so 125 to 130 expansion. So that'll be interesting to see when that comes out. New content for the Christmas event, and more TLP unlocks. And then throughout the year, server improvements and ongoing conversion to the new UI. So hopefully they can get all that taken care of so they can focus on other things and more anti-cheat improvements. All right, so in other news, the Tier 1 raid was released. You can talk to, I guess, Karina Stalis there, or the Herald of the Brood. Here we go, the Herald of the Brood right here. I haven't done these. I don't raid, so I don't know what's going on. So the landing forces in there. So that's another thing. So pretty nice, pretty cool. The raids are out. So yeah, some interesting changes, especially if you're a bard or a pet class. Definitely those are going to be like the highlights to me of this. Everything else is rather bug fixes, right? We need a lot of bug fixes. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.